Good morning. Welcome to BeingAuthenticRules, aka The Bar, where we're becoming fine wine one message at a time. And I'm your host and bartender, the Rule Breaker, serving up straight truth, no chaser. So, grab your goggles and a drink, because around here we're about to go deep. Now, this morning we're going to talk about some things that comes from the scriptures. In the book of Luke, chapter 4, I think it's in the first 10 to 11 or so verses, you see a conversation between Satan and Jesus. This is when Jesus was taken into the wilderness to be tested by Satan. And these tests came in the form of temptation. They are the temptations that we as believers will experience throughout our journey. And there are a few significant points in these verses that I'd like to discuss with you today. The first temptation that Satan posed to Jesus was for him to turn a stone into bread. And to me, and the spirit inside of me is witnessing to this, it's when we think of bread, we think of a couple of things. Either it's going to be food or it's going to be money, right? So to me, there is a underlying temptation to make money in an unlawful way. How many times are we tempted to make money in an unlawful way? In fact, that's one of the things that God was so upset with not only his priest about, but people in the world. They are everybody's doing sneaky and underhanded things in order to create money. So that, temptation number one, to create and turn something into money that is not legal according to God's standard. Not just man's standards, but God's standards. Number two, Satan tried to tempt Jesus into, what was the second one? Oh, fame and power. Worship him. Well, we all know that God said, "Thou shalt have no other God," and that we shouldn't worship any other God. That's another one of the things that we are always tempted to do as a human being, to worship other people, to worship other gods, like to say that we put our trust in. When you put your trust anything, any other God, when you're leaning on anything other than God, you are worshiping that item. So he wanted Jesus to bow to him. And we've talked about this in another video too. I'm not bowing to anybody. Nope. Nobody but God. So I believe that it's not so much that you can't honor someone. You can honor people. But you have to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that all power comes from God. The third thing that Satan wanted to tempt Jesus with, and get this, I've never really heard it put this way before. Satan took Jesus to the top of the temple and told him to throw himself down and the angels would come and save him. Y'all, that's suicide. Sometimes in life, things get so hard that a lot, I ain't gonna say all, I dare not put everybody in that category, but before you leave this earth, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna cross your mind at least one time. Things get to be a little too much. So you may have the idea, I wish I wasn't here no more. Look, Job, he was like, I wish I wasn't born, man. Things got so hard. It would have been better if I just was never our life, most of us, if you breathing, you've had that moment. And can you imagine being in the wilderness for 40 days without eating? That's very hard for me to imagine, right? By that time, you probably feel like you on your way out. You probably feel like, I can't take not one more day, God. Or I feel like I'm dying. But it's suicide, y'all. That's suicide. And God said we should not test him like that. Even if you know that the angels are gonna come and save you, we don't intentionally do things that we know are going to kill us. So those three things is what Satan used to try to test God's people. He tried to get you to turn money and to make things out of money that good and well ain't right. He tried to get you to worship people, care more about other people than you do him, than you do God. And he'll offer you everything in the world to get you to care about everything in the world more than you do God. Excuse me. Human being here. And the last thing, when you just can't take his temptations no more, when you can't take the test, when the tests are getting the best of you, is whooping your behind and you want to run from it, but you can't. He gonna be like, just end it all then. Just end it. Just put yourself out of your misery. And God said, don't do that, because you got me. I'm always here. I'm always going to help you, which is great and good to know. And it's good to know because of the verse that comes up after that, which is Satan left Jesus. So the Bible tells us, resist the devil and he shall flee. What they didn't tell you was he'll be back. That part. He coming back, y'all. That verse at the end of the temptation says that the devil left till another opportunity came. That means he coming back. It's gonna be around 2, 3, and 4, and 5. And you're gonna have to stay prayed up. You're gonna have to keep your armor on, because you don't know when he coming. He about like Jesus. You don't never really know when Jesus is supposed to come. Well, you ain't gonna never really know when Satan gonna show up again. But scripture done warned you. He coming back. Stay ready. So it's a good thing that we always have God with us in our heart. Because think about it. If he was in the temple somewhere and we had to go to the temple, I remember reading a scripture where there was somebody in the Bible who was actually waiting and trying to find a place to pray. I'm sorry, but what's wrong with right where you at? What's wrong with that? That is a good thing, that we don't have to go to the temple in order to get help. We don't gotta go to the temple to pray. We can pray wherever we are and receive right where you at. So that's all I really had for today. I thought I would share that little tidbit of information with you. It was just revealed to me that bread, a lot of times people think about it and they say, well, it's natural bread, it's food, or it's the word. And that is true. But in this particular situation where Satan is trying to tempt Jesus, why would he tempt him with fake word when Jesus is the word? You think Satan didn't know that? You think Satan didn't know that Jesus was the word in the flesh? So it couldn't have been that he was trying to tempt him with the fake word. He was trying to tempt him into illegally creating something from something else that he wasn't supposed to do, that was going against God's will and his standards. It's like I said, most of us, when we think of bread, we think of either food or money. That is the lingo for human beings. We say, man, I need some bread in my pocket. Thinking about it now, ain't you? You thinking about it? I see you. All right. Well, y'all, that's all for today. I hope you have an amazing day. I'm going to. Thank you for stopping by the bar. Don't you be no ghosts. Truth seekers, barkeepers, let's continue to do just that. Until next time, I love you. Rule breaker out.